Hello, Ozark School District. I want to address this. Apparently, everybody's invited for looking at the future growth of your schools. Well, let's just address that, shall we? Because all the indications are saying something very different. You might want to go to your board minutes for your school and go to the 22-23 school board minutes. And then you're going to find attachments in those. And it's from Zonda. This is who they use for their demographics. Okay, well, this is New Star. And let's see, there it is, Zonda Education. Demographic report. So I'm going to show you a few things here. And we're going to cover it. Yes, these areas are growing in population. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. But that does not equate to student population. Okay? And yes, you've had new homes developed recently that has brought these numbers up. You had like 650 in 2022 that were built, and in 2023, something like 350 they're thinking are going to be done this year, according to the assessor's office. Well, it didn't really help you in your student population, and we're going to get into that. And supposedly it's young people are supposed to be moving into your area. Well, at these prices, I don't really know how they're going to be able to afford that. I don't know a whole lot of young families that are going to be able to afford those numbers. And, there's an indication why your taxes have been increasing pretty steadily. According to Zonda here, these are your student enrollment numbers, through BK through 12th. And these numbers look a little different than what DESI's numbers show. And so I will get into that as well, and we'll just go from there. But even according to Zonda, you only grew by 3 students this year, for this school year. Last year was only 24. Now you had your bump in 21-22, but of that 239, I'm hoping you can see my screen okay. Let's see if we can get that blown up a little bit there. So maybe you can see that a little bit better. But as you can see right here, enrollment history, but look at your PK numbers. Those, I think this is where you're getting the bulk of it. I swear they missed a school or something. To have the PK numbers down in this size for your size school district, I think one of the schools was just missing, or the PK schools. Never made sense to me. But anyway, I digress. Going forward. But as you can see here, for total, look at your numbers. And I mean that percentage growth. So they're freaking out for some reason, saying, "Oh my gosh, we're growing." You don't have room for 3 more students? Well, that's kind of disturbing. Just saying. And so cohort patterns, 3-year. I think that was all I really needed to share on this one. Let's see. In 10-year forecasts, nobody can go out that far. They generally only go out 5 because it becomes too volatile. Too many things can happen in 10 years. So a lot of these schools are pushing them out to 10 years just to try to inflate numbers that are for a possible inflating of numbers. But we'll get back to like these homes that right here, generally that would have meant a huge bump in students. It doesn't relate anymore, and I'm going to show you why. Um, Kids are just not being born like they used to. Before that you could almost guaranteed you another at least 800 students, but that's just not the case. 20 years ago, that would have been the case. That would have been something to seriously worry about, okay? But that's just not the case. Okay, so we're going to go into the demographics. This is total population and stuff like that. But there's something here that I want to show you real quick because it doesn't make sense. Your future population is showing a decrease. We'll see if we can get this blown up just a little bit here, just to make it easier for you to see on my screen. Okay? This is Ozark School District. Your population from 0 to 4, babies born the last, 4 years, it's 2,188. Okay? So this is future students, or a good chunk of them, right? But look at your ages from 5 to 9. Well, that's 2,474. That's quite a bit more than what you're seeing here. So when you look at the demographics of age 10 to 14, you got 2,000, pardon me, 714. Okay, those are higher, and it does actually reflect in your numbers in your school district. You are what's considered a little bit top heavy, which means you have older students and your kids that are in, say, middle school, the population is a smaller demographic. Well, over time, those kids that are in middle school will be in high school. And so you're going to reduce in numbers in your high school over the years as the other ones age out. Okay? So you have less children going in to school in the future, and you have kids aging out of school. So those numbers actually have a much higher risk of reducing at about the same rate that you have grown over, say, the last 5 years. So how numbers are shown and portrayed, can be deceptive, but these are the numbers I look at. Population in 2028. It doesn't look like it's going to get much better. In fact, I that actually looks far worse. Now, you're still going to get, I'm sure, some influence from Springfield, a little bit of influence from out of state, but it's not going to make up for your losses. So the fact that they keep beating the drum beat, and this is what was presented to your board at their last meeting. And I knew that I'm like, I don't think that's correct. So I had to. Oh, by the way, this is where you find it in the open session board meeting that was done on 10/19, and the demographic report, and these are your PDFs down here that I just showed you, okay? So that's where you're going to find them, both of those supporting documents. Now, we're going to go to DESE, okay? And this is your Ozark enrollment. Like I said, there is some disparity with some of the numbers. Now we're going to go to Ozark here. Hopefully you can see that. But according to them, last year he had over 6,000 students. And difference from previous year was 11. And you only grew in a 3-year period of 137. Now this is according to Desi. So who is correct? Zonda or Desi? I don't know which, but either one is not showing that you're really increasing in students. If you increased anywhere, it was definitely in your PK numbers. So you're probably actually losing students. Okay, so according to them, he had 111, but these are numbers that you want to kind of look at here. Okay, 431 kindergarten, which is now in first grade this year, because this is 2023, 2022, 23. So this is last year. Of course, they wouldn't have to this year's numbers. That just started this summer. Okay, 473. That's now in second grade. And that's one of your higher numbers, but that's it. You got 442, 447. Okay, and this is what I want you to look at. Okay, so you're in 435, 446. So you're kind of in your mid 40s. It doesn't start bumping back up until sixth grade, which is now in seventh grade this year. Now you're getting into 488, 487, 461, 474, 456, 462, 449. So back here, you have lower numbers. And so is what's coming in. So, sorry, I keep cracking up. But you can go over here, but this is back in 2022. And that was a difference in 3-year average of 62 students. And then an increase of 74 in the 7 to 12. Like I said, it's just getting, you're more in the top heavy. So that gets you into your 136, 67. So I don't know what to tell you, but Ozark is not growing. They are fibbing. They are absolutely fibbing about that. And I don't know why your board members are being lied to, too. That it's not the board members trying to deceive you, it's somebody else. And who that is, I don't know. I guess that's something that should be investigated. Because this was what was presented to the board that, oh, you're going to be growing. But their own numbers say, no, you're not. In fact, it says that you better brace for impact because your numbers are actually going to go down. And with the housing market the way it is right now, schools should be bracing for impact. They should be paying off their debt and they should be just shoring up everything that they can and hope for the best. But they should be preparing for the worst. And that's not population as far as growth, as far as shrinkage. But that's all I had, folks. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But please do share. People need to know this, and so does your board members.